today I'm doing a little introduction actually to the course that'll be offered at the end of February called It's Not Your Money. And it's not really about money. It's about everything. You know, the joy of life is sometimes we think that prosperity is money. Well, prosperity is well-being at every level. And so this book is all about that. And it really is a phenomenal read. I managed to read this book in a day. It was just, I couldn't put it down. So as we're going through this life journey, you know, sometimes life is a struggle. And, you know, we sometimes think that if I was just the right person, everything would be perfect. But what if everything is happening and the way it's happening is actually perfect? What if there's always going to be something going on? So what we want to do is come to terms with what is and begin to move forward with a sense of possibility, excitement, and delight, knowing that things are changing and moving always. Now, I love the Buddhist teaching. You know, the Buddhists always say, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. You know, some things don't change. Life is going to continue to give us opportunities for ups and downs, for moments of great joy and moments of great sadness. And what we want to do is find a way to accept that life is, and that just because something is sad doesn't make it bad. Just because we're grieving something doesn't mean it's horrible, awful. Yes, it feels that way. However, it may very well be moving us in a direction that's really needed. So there's a quote in the book. She quotes this intuitive named Michael, and I really like this quote because it sort of says what it needs to. He said, "This too shall pass, but don't forget, it shall pass and bring the same damn thing a second time." Or a close proximity, if you don't embrace it the first time. Ooh, well, I know this is true because, you know, I think I married the same man 4 times and then got the lesson, and then I married Pierre. So sometimes we learn through the repetitive errors of our ways, but eventually we come to a place of knowing and a place of maybe living with a greater sense of ease. So the truth is that life is happening, and there's 8 billion people on this planet. There's plenty of things going on, and we are not the controllers of any of it. I know that's a sad truth, right? So we can't control everything. And in fact, we can control almost nothing, but we can control our reactions and become the master of those reactions. And by doing that, we actually free ourselves up to live with a greater sense of joy and peace as we come to this place of acceptance of what is, knowing that every moment is doing something for us by doing it through us. And it might be taking us to a brand new way of being. It might be shifting things so we can have a greater experience. And I was thinking about my year for 2023, which frankly was rough. You know, all my pets dying, my mom dying, having to move, you know, it was a year. And in the midst of all that, what I've come to realize is that everything is happening, and how we look at it matters. What we call it, the way we experience it, we get to choose to look at it from a new vantage point. And for me, part of my practice lately has been to go, it is what it is. Now what? Now what? Not now what, but now what? Because I know that as things move out of our lives, as we make space, good comes. And it might not seem that way in the moment, but good comes. It's everywhere around us always. And it blasts open the door to abundance when we can get our willingness to just be with what is. So Tasha Silver in the book, she shares 3 stages of this life journey. And the first stage is the ego. And I think most of us know this one really well. The ego is fully in the driver's seat. I want what I want. And if I don't get it, I'll most definitely feel angry or hopeless, maybe even forever. Anybody ever think that? I want what I want when I want it. And that doesn't work so well. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But more often than not, we get caught up in the wanting, we get caught up in trying to force the universe into being what we would like it to be, rather than in what is actually going on. So we move on to the second stage. Hopefully we get out of that one for a minute and we go, well, wait a minute, I can't control every outcome. So then what? And the second stage is a little more intellectual. You learn about surrender and inviting the divine to lead. Now, this stage unfolds from the sheer exhaustion of not getting the desires that you darn well wanted in that first stage, right? So you start turning things over a little bit. Now, the small stuff sort of rules the roost. And this stage is trickiest because you can convince yourself that you've surrendered, when in fact the ego is simply using an offering as a strategy to get whatever it wants. So sometimes we start, I've gone through this myself where, you sit back and go, well, let's create health. Okay, so I am health, I am health, I am health, I am health. Oh, that hurts. I am health. Oh, darn that. Yeah. And we're trying to force it. We're trying to make it happen. We're saying our affirmations, and darn it, we still have that pain in the wherever we have that pain, right? So what we want to do instead is actually go into a place of true surrender, where we look at life for what it is. We allow it to be. Well, we don't really have a choice about that. So we accept how it is and we allow it to be. And in stage 3, the me no longer carries the heavy weight or the heavy center of identity. See, this is the challenge that we have. We look at ourselves and we believe we're this body, we're this thing, and we're subject to this because we've forgotten that we're one with this divine presence, this infinite energy, this divine light that is everywhere present, all knowing, all powerful, fully present as each and every one of us. It is the energy of life. It's the all in the all. The song Ricky was singing, use me, right? That's where we want to go. We want to surrender into this. You know what? There's a power within me that knows me. There's a power within me that is infinite, eternal, all powerful, all knowing. Let me trust that. Let me look at the world out here and go, oh, let me take a pause. Let me just go back. Let me take a moment out of the fray of existence and breathe life into the moment in my meditation or prayer practice to allow myself to come to terms with this journey that I'm on. So I can just be with life, knowing that as I come to a place of loving acceptance, I begin to see the open doors. You see, when we're caught up in the fray of the problem, when we are focusing our attention and our energy on that which we think we don't have, what we've done is we've, really put blinders on so we can't see what's actually coming. We get so focused on what's not working, what we want to be different, that we don't see an open door just to our right that will take us exactly where we want to be. We're so focused on the closed door. So focus is really, really important. Let's not focus on what we don't want. Let's focus on what we do want, what we truly, truly desire. So in stage 3, the me no longer carries the cumbersome center of identity, and everything that needs to happen starts to happen without consciously doing anything. That sounds easier, doesn't it? The universe acts through us, and the outcome, none of our business. It'll be an outcome and it'll be what it'll be. And from there, something else will flow. So there's no need to judge or to compare the various stages. They're just seasons of unfolding. It's an opportunity to overcome my desire to control everything and to instead allow life to unfold in ways that I had no idea about. So it's really wonderful to begin to view life from this new place. Now, that doesn't mean there aren't moments when you really want to change what's happening, right? And we go back to the Buddhist thing, right? Before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. We are here having a human experience, and that human experience means that we are going to go to work. We are going to take time for play, hopefully. We will have our moments of health and maybe not so healthy moments. We will have all manner of opportunities to feel what it is to be alive. To feel what it is to be alive. You see, if you never ever had a bad day, you would never know how to appreciate a good one. Right? And the thing is that we all have the ability to create something wonderful. But we can't do that if we're looking at the problem only. So that's why I love that song so much by Ricky, Use Me. And we're not talking to something outside of ourselves. We're talking to that divine presence that is us. We're sort of getting out of the ego for a moment and dropping into the awareness of that infinite consciousness within, going, okay, show me the way. Show me my next step. And intuitively, something pops up. And we need to trust that and put a little rubber on the road and walk through it and to it and do it. Right? That's the journey. And do we get caught up in the obsessive compulsive, whatever's going on around us? Absolutely. And we need to let that go too. You know, there's this part of us that so wants to control things, but ultimately we can't. Because there is, you know, we live in a world of impermanence. A Thai meditation master was once asked if he can find security in this world of impermanence. And how can we relax and be happy when nothing stays the same? And here's his answer. He answered by holding up a drinking glass and saying, you see this goblet? For me, this glass is already broken. I enjoy it. I drink out of it. It holds my water admirably, sometimes even reflecting the sun in beautiful patterns. But when I put this glass on a shelf and the wind knocks it over, I say, of course. When I understand that the glass is already broken, every moment with it is precious. Every moment is just as it is. I like that. You know, I think about one of the things I think about, a friend of mine had breast cancer a number of years ago. And one of the things she noticed was a lot of her friends stopped calling, stopping by, stopped checking in. And I know that probably what was going on for them was a little fear of, I don't know what to say. But truthfully, they were actually treating her like she had died, and she hadn't. In fact, she survived it quite well. We sometimes pull back out of our fear. And sometimes that fear is, well, I don't know what to say. Well, if your friend has cancer, there is nothing to say. There are no words that make it different, better, or make it go away. But this is your friend. So just like this Thai master was going, I see this as already broken. And so I just enjoy it for what it is while I have it. And wouldn't it be wonderful if we could enjoy each other as we are, where we are, just whatever's going on, while we have each other? Wouldn't that change things just a little bit? So the perfect solution is already sort of figured out, and we'd be guided if we would listen to that still small voice. So I've been doing a practice lately that's pretty intense with this new course I'm taking. And what I love about it is it's causing me to reflect on things that I didn't even know were actually things. I didn't even know there were things going on. It's like sometimes we don't realize until we're doing our practice, and then we get these insights, we get this awareness. So I had an awareness. I recently was in a meeting where a person sort of put me down a little bit because of being white and accused me of being a colonialist. And I'm like, okay, but it felt really bad. I'm like, that feels really bad. But what I realized this week is that the person who treated me this way didn't do anything to me. But what I felt was really deep. And what I realized is that this woman had lived with this every day of her life. She was always being treated as other. She was always being treated as, you know, this person who is not of value or something. And I thought, wow, I had a moment of feeling really bad. She's had a lifetime of it. And all of a sudden, my heart just melted. And I thought, I can't even be upset about this, because in that moment, I got a chance to step into her shoes. And I thought, what a beautiful gift she gave me. Sometimes we forget that our journey is not the same as somebody else's. And that if we can, for a moment, step into their shoes, maybe we would have a little bit of insight about what their path or their journey has been all about. And maybe, just maybe, we would be more compassionate, more empathetic, more understanding. So really important that we start to look at life from a new way. And if we can really develop our spiritual practice in a powerful and positive way, we begin to free ourselves from some of the errors of thinking that kind of get us into trouble sometimes. So she talks in the book as well about these steps that are so important. There's the 3 stages, but there's also 5 divine steps. And the first is to pray for what you desire. So often when something happens, we think about, oh, this awful thing happened, and we forget what it is we really want, and we focus on what we don't. So the key is to shift that and know that we can go into treatment, we can begin to switch that. So we look at what it is we desire and we focus our attention there. The second thing is to clear out that which isn't working for us. And you know what? A lot of the times it's a mental clearing. We're clearing out all of the rubble, all of the ways we think that are negative, critical, judgmental. We clear all that out. So the second step is all about clearing your surroundings of clutter, which includes your mental capacity. The third is a big one. This one's the easiest one, I'm sure. No complaining. Oh, maybe that's the hardest one. I tell you, complaining is almost as natural as taking a breath, isn't it? Oh, it's cold outside. Oh, darn. We're Deja coming home tomorrow from Mexico. Well, we're glad to have her. I'm sure she'll adapt to the cold. Sorry, Deja. So no complaining. And the next step is about gratitude, being grateful. So when we can look at life, like even this interaction I had with this person, she was pretty upset with me at the time. And I was hurt by that, which my own doing. Being able to be grateful for that interaction has changed it for me, changed it completely. And I think sometimes when we look at life and begin to, instead of calling things bad and wrong, this and that, just going, this is in my life. And if it's in my life, it has a purpose in my life. So let me be grateful for it so I can allow it to move and reshape itself in whatever way I'm ready to actually receive. And when I do that, I'm able to see the open doors that are now showing up for me. So really, really important. And then last but not least, a willingness to receive. Yes, a willingness to receive. There is something about receiving. I don't know. I don't know if men are as bad at this as sometimes women are, but you know how, you'll be all dressed up going out and somebody will say, oh, wow, what a great dress. And you go, oh, this whole thing. Oh, I got it on sale at. Think about it for a minute. This person offered you a gift and you didn't accept it. You didn't accept it. You know how nice it is to give somebody a gift and they go, thank you. And you feel, oh, I did this really great thing, and you feel really good about it. It's really important that we learn how to receive. And so maybe we start by saying, it's easy for me to receive. It's easy for me to receive. As we begin to focus on the ease and the joy and the wonder of life, we can start to see how anything is possible if we are willing to let go of our own agenda, our own my way or the highway. I'd rather be right than happy. Let's shift some of those things so that we'd rather be happy than right. I was reading in The Science of Mind this morning, and I just want to share with you a quote here. Let me get my glasses so I can actually see it. Suppose someone is constantly saying everything is all wrong in the world. People are wrong, things are wrong, conditions are wrong, all is sickness and unhappiness. Nothing seems worthwhile. Well, that'd be a little complaining, I suppose. You as a practitioner, anybody who's doing prayer treatment work, must not be disturbed by this complaint. It is your business to remove this complex from these inner emotions, create outer conditions in and through the body, and are responsible for a great deal of sickness in the world. So what we do, and what he's written here, is treatment. So our form of affirmative prayer, treatment straightens out consciousness by clear thinking. Treatment straightens out consciousness by clear thinking. Isn't that beautiful? So we all have our ways of looking at the world, and it is what it is. And if there's something that's not working for us, we can go into treatment. We can do spiritual mind treatment and shift the energy and begin to create something new, because we have within us this divine presence and power that's just saying, use me. Let us go into meditation. I invite you to just relax. If you're comfortable, close your eyes. And let us just know together that as we take a breath in, and quiet our minds and relax our bodies, there's an awareness that bubbles up from inside, this divine presence that speaks through us. And as we quiet the outer voice, the outer chatter, and drop within that center of our being, connecting with the source, there's a peacefulness that comes with that. And from that place of peace, I can feel the energy of joy beginning to move. Joy is always present. It's never left. It's always here. And all I need to do is turn to it. So in this moment, I invite you to take a breath and just drop your awareness right into the center of your heart space. And feel that vibration of love. That awareness that all is well. That no matter what's happening in the world and my life around me, all is well. It is in that space, in that place, that I realize my own strength, potential, but also know that there's something more occurring than what I can see, touch, feel. There's something more. So I take a deep breath and I allow myself to live in that divine place of oneness, conscious oneness with all life, conscious oneness with the divine. And it is in this place that I know that I'm safe, secure. I know that all is well, that whatever's needed, whatever's necessary is right here. And trusting all of that, I just let it be and I surrender.